Welcome back to France and the circuit of Ernée, the final race of the 69th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations with me, Paul Malin, and Jeff Emmick. And Jeff, the scene is set for a perfect final race here, isn't it? Everything on the line between Team USA and Team France.
Yeah, it is so close. America has got 2 points over France. They're sending out 2 of the best riders that they have, Romain Febvre and Gauthier Paulin, for the final moto. And the 60,000 plus fans here, they are demanding a win from their riders. So we'll see. It's going to be an all-out brawl here in the final moto.
Well, the weather has been pretty sublime here for this time of year in the northwest region of France. The last time we came here was epic, but this one this year, 10 years later, seems to have surpassed anything that 2005 could offer. Look at the fans out there on the hillside. The majority of them, of course, French, but there's a few Americans in there. There's a few of the rest of Europe in there as well. The crowd trying to squeeze themselves in, trying to get any ounce of standing room space. This is the riders in mixed GP and open. You see the riders per country there. But Jeff Emmick, what a day we've had here. We have been spoiled for riding. There's been some great action, a lot of skill out there. And the Americans and the French, obviously the standout performers here this weekend. But we've got the third and final race on the line here. And it can all go off any moment.
Well, this start here is so important. We see Gauthier is going to pick the inside gate, so that'll put Febvre on the outside. I didn't see where the Americans are lined up, but getting through that first turn clean. Oh, so there's Cooper Webb. He's on the inside. They got Dean Wilson from Great Britain just between them. So that'll put Justin Barcia, the other American, on the outside with Romain Febvre.
Side by side as well. Look at that. That's a tasty little matchup there, isn't it?
It certainly is. And, you know, both of the riders that America has out there, with Justin Barcia here, number 7, and Cooper Webb, they're very gritty riders. You saw Cooper Webb make that aggressive pass on Febvre. You saw Barcia and Musquin really getting together, and Barcia pushing Musquin out of the way. It could be really exciting if it takes that type of riding for one team or the other to walk away with the Chamberlain Trophy here at the end of this race.
Well, just looking at the points then, after 2 races, all 4 races counting at the moment in terms of their scores, both races, so we've got 4 scores coming in. Justin Barcia has had a win, Cooper Webb has had a 2nd, Jeremy Martin has had 2 5th place finishes, so add that up, that is 13 points. Remember, it's 1 for a win, 2 for 2nd, 3 for 3rd. USA on 13, France on 15. Romain Febvre has won a race. Musquin has had a 3rd, 4th, and Paulin in race 1 picked up a 7th. Then the battle for 3rd in the championship or the Motocross of Nations. Estonia on 51 and Switzerland on 53.
So that really is a great battle between those 2 countries that haven't been on the podium in a while, between Estonia and Switzerland.
And the Netherlands also, they're still not out of it in terms of that 3rd place. They're on 63, and they will have Brian Bogus and Glenn Holdenoff out in this one. But all eyes for sure are going to be on the 2 nations that are leading the way. The USA with Justin Barcia and Cooper Webb, and Romain Febvre and Gauthier Paulin for France. The track looked like it's been groomed in 1 or 2 areas, Jeff. Not too much work, but particularly after the Ippon jump. Look at that view down there. The riders, all they see is a wall of people. There are between 50 and 60,000 fans out there alone on the banking. There's another bank around the back going up the far hill.
Yeah, it certainly is just an electrifying atmosphere here today. So now this is it, the final race for the Chamberlain Trophy.
Ingo Parch, our FIM race director, signals the 15-second warning to go up. The French fans are on their feet. Andy Summers, the starter, is in the box, getting ready to release the gate here. 5 seconds. This is it. The final race of the 69th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations is go. Paulin up the inside. Is it Paulin with the whole shot? No, he hits the brakes. 10 Townley at the inside of it.
This 2nd turn is treacherous. This is where they're going to get into all those deep ruts.
Oh, Townley misses the side of the track, gains a few positions. I'm sure Direction will take a look at that as well.
Well, and then he let the leader go by there, the 31.
Benston. Oh, and De Dijker. So De Dijker and I think that was Paulin there, just getting into bar banging action, but Febvre going into second. So Febvre, I thought he was in the back of the 31 of Bengtson then.
Townley playing the spoiler, takes the spot back from Febvre, pushes him wide. It looks like Barsha is buried deep in the pack. Timing and scoring showing him in 13th and Cooper Webb in 14th.
And Townley looking to make a move around the outside of Bengtson there, but the French have Febvre in third place here, and Paulin a couple of positions behind him as Townley coming to lead up the hill here, but Bengtson just holding on for Sweden. There's Paulin, number 1. So everything on the line. There's Barsha. He has had a great recovery. He is already on the back of the number 1 of Gauthier Paulin.
Making a lot of moves. That should put Barsha, we'll see at the finish line where timing and scoring has, but probably around 8.
Barsha parks it down the inside of Febvre, who looks over his shoulder and thinks, hey, keep out of this battle. I'm going for the Chamberlain Trophy here with my country.
And that's what is so interesting. And another challenge here as Febvre moves into second is that you're not just battling riders on the track for the position. Some of these riders are kind of considered spoilers when it comes to the overall classification.
Oh, Bobrashev found Bengtson at the bottom of the hill. Bengtson had the inside line as they turn into pit lane, but it's Bobrashev who's there in third place. But look at that. Townley leads. Febvre of France second. Bengtson third. Bobrashev fourth. Ferris of Australia 5. Didika 6. Butra. Paulin. Caro. Van Hornbeek. Barsha 11. Webb in 14th position.
Wow, Webb definitely has his work cut out for him. He had a great start in the first moto, had a clear track. Now he's challenged. Can the rookie from America put on a charge and score good enough to help America win this Chamberlain Trophy this year?
We were talking about podium positions with third at the moment going to Estonia and Switzerland in fourth. But look at that after the first lap. France are now leading on 17, the USA on 24. Belgium have got themselves into podium contention on 56. Australia fourth on 67. And Switzerland and Estonia are now fifth and sixth.
Yeah, I mean, Belgium has been on the podium 7 straight years. They're always in contention. Kendon Diker, after a bad first moto, certainly has put himself in a good position now here in this final moto.
Yeah, here he is in fourth place. Replay of the start. 1 or 2 riders. Bengtson getting a perfect jump from the middle. There he is, look, number 31.
Great overhead shot. Look at how the outside, the rider, Ferris on the outside. Ferris, yeah, gets in there. Top 5 start for him.
Just Philip Bengtson with the foxhole shot. Baumgartner of Switzerland down, so that's going to put pressure on Valentin Guillot. And Guillot down in 20th place, actually. He was 15th. Right, where's our leaders? Here's Ben Townley still leading the way. Fastest man on track, believe it or not. 149.4. Febvre all over the back of him, though, for Team France.
Febvre has been outstanding here today.
Bobrashev third, there's Didika fourth, then Ferris in fifth for Australia. Paulin is sixth, Caro seventh, Van Hornbeek eighth for Belgium. Barsha of America ninth. He's got his teammate Cooper Webb behind him, about a second and a half back.
Cooper Webb is making some moves right now. We saw how strong he was in Moto2, how he had that never give up attitude, and even after a crash, ended up only 3 seconds behind Febvre at the end of the race. Showed a lot of heart, and that's what it's going to take here today in France if America wants to win this championship.
For the first time since we were here in France last in 2011 at Saint-Jean-d'Angély, close to Bordeaux, but Romain Febvre picking a nice tight inside line there, taking the shortest route through, but then has to back it off as he heads uphill. But Townley has put in some pretty killer starts this weekend for New Zealand.
Uses some momentum there. Cooper Webb trying to search out for some lines around the Belgian rider.
You know what? There is a sense of urgency in this race. It's always down to the third and final race, isn't it? As it has been for so many years now. And you've got Barsha and Febvre down the inside of Townley takes the lead. It was close. There was a bit of ball banging action. Febvre leads again. The crowd erupts here. Look at that. What a great advert for motocross.
Febvre has been so good this year, and to have this moment here, to have the French fans supporting him this way, such a likable young man, very humble, just really came out of nowhere here the last couple of years.
Got the drive coming out of the final turn, ran it down the inside of Townley, tried to close the door. Febvre wasn't scared though, he didn't back out of the challenge. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a clutch in and a panic rev initially there to put the scare on Townley. But Febvre leads on lap 3. His mechanic, Manuel, loved that as well, and so too did Megan, his girlfriend. Right, trying to pick up the action here. There's Bengtson going through, number 31. Well, he's dropped down to 13th position already. Here's Paulan all over the back of Ken de Dijker.
Has Ferris has gone through on de Dijker then?
Yep. Townley all over the back of Romain Febvre, not letting the Frenchman get away. He's loving this, isn't he, being at the front here, Ben Townley. Australia just off the podium in 4th at the moment. New Zealand have got themselves back up to 11th.
How about this ride that Borbashev's putting on? Sitting there in 3rd, playing the spoiler. Although Gauthier Paulin having a little bit of problems here, getting past de Dijker. And if the Americans, Barsha is up to 8th now, Webb's still 10th. Timing and scoring showing them. We'll get a shot of them, find out where they're at on the track. Every point's going to count.
Bobrashev was 2nd in race 1. He's currently 3rd in the 2nd race, and he's the fastest rider on track as well at 1:48.8 compared to the 50.4 of Febvre, the 52.4 of Townley, and the 50.04 of Dean Ferris. What about the times of Barsha and Webb? Webb at 50, and so too the Barsha Yamaha. But talk about electric.
Yeah, 22 minutes plus 2 laps left.
Nice.
France ahead at the moment in the overall classification. France has 15, USA 21. So if the Americans are going to make a run at this, they've got to start picking some of these riders off quickly.
22 minutes plus 2 laps to go, the 3rd and final race of the day. 30 plus 2, the overall general, the general length of these races. But de Dijker, what a return to form for him. You never know, it could be de Dijker's final appearance for Team Belgium in the Motocross of Nations. He was saying in the press conference on Friday that he hasn't got anything sorted next year, so might not even be riding full-time next year, who knows. Whether he just rides national championships or what. But here's Barsha, number 7. That's the back marker just ahead of him, is it? Or is it Matthias Caro? Caro, yeah.
Putting in a strong ride
for Latvia. So Caro in 7th place. Their 250 rider, Paul Jonas, not riding, so they were another team that were down to 2 riders. Jonas had 1 or 2 spills too many in the qualifying race yesterday. But look at Barsha swinging over to the right-hand side, nearest to the camera now. Number 7 overcooks it slightly. And Webb closing in as well. There's Van Hoorbeek just behind him, number 6 in yellow for Belgium.
Look at how difficult this track is, Paul. These ruts are just treacherous. Testing the rider's ability, testing their physical fitness at this point. The start so critical here in this final race, and the Americans, both riders well outside of the top 10, so they have their work cut out for them. And Barsha, team leader this year, fighting in the MX1 division. After a pole shot in the first moto, finds himself in the exact opposite position here in the second moto, or in his second moto, the final moto of 3. And look how the riders are cutting over those ruts, picking out new lines.
Paulan did that a couple of laps ago, up on the pegs from the outside and swung across, and I just thought that was a nice line. But as you say, everybody now getting cute to that. But Romain Febvre only 1.5 seconds clear of Ben Townley at the moment.
And timing and scoring, Paul, is showing between de Dijker, who's in 5th, and Dean Wilson, who's in 11th. It's only about 7 seconds separating those riders. So if you're Justin Barsha, Van Hoorbeek, Webb in there with 8th, 9th, and 10th, for the Americans, there's quite a few positions right in front of you.
Yeah.
The team mechanics with the signboards are certainly giving you that information. You see them ahead of it, and you know that each one of those positions is so valuable at this point. 20 minutes plus 2 laps left to go.
Just looking down the leaderboard, 29th for the number 13, the German of Max Nagel. So not getting a good start and having to pay the price for that. But Febvre leads the way, Townley 2nd, Bobrashev 3rd, Ferris 4th, Cooper Webb around the outside here, trying to get that momentum. He might get the run on Van Hoorbeek here. He has to switch lines. Looking for another point here. Going to go round.
Outside line.
Going to go around the outside of the Belgian. Febvre though. Oh, here we go. Oh, look how close it is. Still not able to find a way through.
Webb trying every way he can to get the position on Van Horbig. Van Horbig blocks the inside. Webb's outside. Going to cut back across right now. And look at the riders lined up.
Yeah, Van Horbig ahead of him. Barsha, his teammate, on the jump now, number 7. And they are right behind Caro and Gauthier Paulin in 5th position. Oh, and
that's what the French fans were cheering for. Paulin just past the Diker. That puts him up to 5th. That's now separating France and USA in the overall points classification, 14 to 21. So the Americans have got to make some moves to close this gap up if they want to have a shot at winning.
Yeah, they were spoiled, weren't they, in the first 2 races, both Barsha and Webb getting hole shots. And they were able to, well, Bam Barsha was able to win the first race. Webb had to settle for 2nd behind Febvre in the 2nd moto, but they put themselves in a good position. They were leading by 2 points coming into this final race, but their starts were not there. There's Nagel in. So Nagel's dream is over for Germany. He'll just ride back to the paddock. But going back to the Americans, they put themselves in a great position. They came in 2 points clear. But their starts weren't there when they needed them into this final race, and they're having to chase the French now to the tune of 7 points. There's Paulin. Around the back marker at the bottom of the hill. Got Dean Ferris. Dean Ferris always comes alive for Team Australia in these events. Pretty much kicked off in Teussenthal, Germany a couple of years ago.
Event, yeah, he really seems to excel here.
He was unfortunate in his first race, which was race 2 just a short while ago. Yeah, look at Barsha.
Down the outside of Caro. Make it past Caro.
No. Oh, yes. He squeezed him at the bottom of the hill. Webb, right there, 7 and number 9, Barsha and Webb. They are 6th and 7th in the race.
Well, now this is a really unique situation here with both American riders on your screen riding the 450 Yamahas. This is where, in a normal race, the rider in front of you want to pass him, okay? But this is your teammate today. Yep. You guys have to work together. And if Webb's a little bit quicker...
There you go. He let him by at the top of the hill. He took a look over to the left, coming out of the bottom corner, and realized, you know what? You're quicker than me. You go. You chase it. And that's exactly what Cooper Webb is going to do. So he's brought another point back. That won't change much there. But as they cross the line now, watch the score change. France is still on 14. Just let it update itself. 5 points now, the difference. It goes up to 19.
Webb stalled it. Webb stalled it. That's going to allow De Diker and Barsha back by. Oh, so the score goes back the other way. But how amazing would it be if this rookie to the Motocross of Nations here has a ride here in the final moto that can close that gap up. He's been on fire all day. He has been very strong late in the motos. Let's watch what happened. Oh, it almost goes down.
Back end came
That would have been very costly. So Barsha gets back by.
And you know what?
Look how much time he loses.
2 kicks. Because he got ahead just of De Diker. So Webb has stayed ahead of De Diker. There's Van Horbig. So again, this is where De Diker takes a look over his shoulder, sees his teammate as well, and says, you go follow the American through. So look, Van Horbig there, getting an easy route through past De Diker. And just behind them, is that Dean Wilson? Yeah, Dean Wilson. And where's Sean Simpson? He's in 14th position. Remember, they're a man down. They had no Max Anstey today. So just riding for a matter of pride, they're going to come down. Well, they couldn't score in one of the races anyway. They couldn't score in 2, but it's your best 5 results count. So showing in 18th place at the moment, but I think that might be a little bit incorrect for Team GB.
Barsha getting pretty loose down there, taking a lot of risk at this point. Now Barsha has caught up and can see the back of Gauthier Paulin.
4 seconds.
That would be a key pass in this event here, but Cooper Webb still has to, he needs to make some positions up also. You can see him about the length of that final straightaway behind. 13 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
Halfway, deep breath, that's the message for Cooper Webb. As he goes down past pit lane, his teammate already through the first corner. Febvre, a 1:51.02. Townley still less than 2 seconds behind for New Zealand, reliving the dream from 2005, 10 years ago, where he was riding with Ricky Carmichael. Bobryshev in third, 5 seconds further back. Ferris still there for Australia in fourth place. Paulin is fifth. Barsha is sixth. That gap around about 4.5 seconds. And then Webb, what, that 5 seconds down on his teammate? Here is Webb now, looking to get back into contention.
Pretty good ride by Wilson there. Holding on to that 9th place. And with the pressure there from Van Horebeke and Wilson, Webb has to be conscious of that, and he needs to be focusing forward. But Van Horebeke and Wilson definitely having a strong ride here as we're halfway, little past the halfway point in this final moto.
He's impressed me this weekend, this kid here, Cooper Webb. Riding the big bike, he raced it last week for the first time at Glen Helen, the final round of MXGP, and he used that to his advantage to get some kind of setup and some kind of feeling on the bike, and here he is taking it to the world's best once more. Certainly took the challenge to Vevra in race 1. Had it not been for that little mistake where he tipped out at the top of the hill there, who knows, we could have had a slightly different ending to that first race, but in the end, Vevra was just let off the hook ever so slightly.
Now Vevra pulls a little bit, a couple extra seconds over Ben Townley. Vevra running a 151, fastest rider on the track. Everyone else is a 152 or above.
That crowd, a sea of fans. The
5-point gap between France and the USA. Belgium up to third. Australia just about 4 points off of the podium.
Barsha all over the back of Paulin. Look as he drops into turn 3, just in front of the crowd. That's the gap, 1.5 seconds or something like that. So you'll see now as they come over the hip punch jump. Here's Ferris in fourth. There's Paulin, and there in the background is Justin Barsha. So he's starting to turn it up. A lap time of 51.5 compared to a 53.3. Barsha is closing in on Gauthier, Paulin, and Jeff. Like you say, points. Every point is crucial now.
Yeah, but when it's a pass like this, it's kind of it's a 2-point swing, right?
Yeah.
So valuable.
Barsha, has he got what it takes? Did you see Gauthier Paulin there just soak it up over that crest before doubling up into that corner? Looked like he was on a BMX, just pumped his way over there, kept the rear wheel on the ground.
Well, are the French fans going to be able to motivate Gauthier enough to hang on to the position here?
Well, I'll tell you what, Justin Barsha, though, he's definitely throwing it all out there.
Oh, he's riding the Yamaha like a man possessed, that's for sure. Switching up his line, going back to the inside here.
Corner speed is good. He is closing in on Paulin. Paulin will start to feel the pressure. He needs to find his own way past Dean Ferris ahead of him in fourth place just to keep that gap, but not a rider normally to look over his shoulder. Gauthier Paulin. I'm sure the crew will tell him down there, but look at that. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Ferris, Paulin, Barsha.
Uh-oh, he's got to drive on the inside of Ferris. Not enough. Barsha just little by little, inching up on the number 1 of Gauthier Paulin.
Oh, that's very fresh in race 1, Paulin.
Oh, look at that line that Ferris had. Nice.
Oh, down the inside. He pulls the same line that Vevra got pulled on by Webb. Wow. He makes it stick.
Nice move.
Gets himself, and I can hear our French commentators in the booth next door. They are going crazy. They've got Pichon in there.
Oh, Ferris from the outside to the inside barely holds on to his motorcycle.
Big moment that for Ferris, and that had he have gone down there, that would have been instant points for Barsha and Webb as well. Oh, Barsha around the outside, looking to charge down the inside of the Australian Ferris here. This is for 5th place. Justin Barsha looking to get good drive on his Yamaha. He's got it down the outside. Great riding from Barsha. Landed a little bit close to the bank though. Feet off the pegs and he goes through the right-hander. Talking about laying it all on the line, Jeff.
Yeah, and if you take a look at timing and scoring here, Cooper Webb was about 8 seconds off of Ferris last time around. He's probably picked up half of that. So the race is on, and how many times, Paul, have we seen third and final moto here, the Motocross of Nations. You need some points. Two riders battling. You got Barsha, who is not afraid at one bit to trade some paint, as they say.
Yeah, here's Febvre, your race leader, 4.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Look at Townley, what an impressive ride from Ben Townley, a guy that you know, struggled in the heat in Glen Helen a week ago, has just picked up his A game and gone, you know what, I'm just going to throw it all out there and see what happens. And that second here will be a great ride for him. He's sixth in race 1, second here in the second race for him.
Borbashev about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of these two right here on track, battling for the points. Barsha's going through the split.
Going to try
Not
to get
going to be enough.
Yeah, going to get the momentum around the outside, set himself up. He might try to square or go around the outside of Paulin. He's hard on the brakes, coming into the penultimate corner. He goes a bit too deep. Paulin knows he's there as well. Sun's starting to get a little bit low as well as the riders head up the hills, but watch the cutback here from Barsha.
Look at that shot. Such an incredible overhead shot from that camera, and just, this is where, oh, Barsha, feet off the pegs, hand on the throttle. The lines have changed so much. These riders have had to be so creative. They've had to search for new lines, not follow.
Oh, Paulin just struggling for distance there.
Struggling just a little bit.
Here comes the pass. Bam, bam, up the inside. Takes the win. Oh, yes. Game on. And Paulin tried to retaliate, tried to park it down the inside of the American. What a move there from Barsha. He'd worked that pretty much from the finish line area, going wide, 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 cutting back. And Paulin now, he needs to maintain his focus, but that, as we said, Jeff, that's worth 2 really, isn't it? Because he's taken a point away and gained a point from France.
It was 13 to 18 last time around. That should close it up to
probably be 3 points because
Webb, points.
Yeah, it depends on Webb now, doesn't it?
Well, and the interesting thing now is, does Barsha have the fitness? Does he have the speed that it's going to take to reel in Borbashev? About 4 seconds ahead of him last time around. Febvre doing exactly what he needs to do. He has been outstanding all weekend long, absolutely perfect every time he's been on the machine. And after the way he's been riding this season, that was exactly what everyone expected from him.
2 minutes to go. There's Ben Townley. He's still in second for New Zealand. What a ride for the Honda rider. Ride of the day, but you cannot take anything away from the French.
Townley's only 1.7 seconds off of the world champion.
Yeah.
And Townley has 1 foot into retirement.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing right now.
No, he shouldn't, but he loves this track. He's got good engines there, actually.
This could have an effect here on this points.
Yeah.
If Townley was able to,
easy.
keep it on the track.
I was talking to Dave Thorpe, actually, the last British Championship round about a month ago, and he was telling me how good his bikes are. Bengtsson, the guy, got the Foxhole shot out of 15th position for Sweden, and he said our bikes are awesome, and Townley is riding one of those build-based Hondas this weekend. So too, Cody Cooper. And Townley making it work for him.
Well, doesn't this have remnants of 2005 when Townley was chasing down Ricky Carmichael on this same course?
Bengtsson getting away from him.
Whoa! Look at that rut. Look how deep that is. One of the best in the world having problems there.
There he is, just picking himself up, but out of 15th place, now circulating in around 23rd position, but Gauthier Paulin is in 5th place. Webb is about 7 seconds behind him with, well, it's going to be very tight, 40 seconds on the clock. Romain Febvre, will it be 3 laps to go as he goes over the line? I think it's going to be very tight, Jeff. Because the Americans need all the laps they can need get out of this race now. Right, it's going to be plenty of time. 26 seconds, Febvre over the line now. So it's a 3-lap dash now to the line. And Team France are 3 laps away, just around 7 or 8 minutes from taking the Chamberlain Trophy here on home soil, and what a dream that would be for Romain Febvre. 2 race wins potentially. He would be the class winner in MX Open. Marvin Musquin already the class winner in MX2 from earlier with his 2 third-place finishes, or a 4th and a 3rd.
Let's see what the signboard says here for Cooper Webb. Not sure we're going to get a shot of it. Even a pass if Webb was able to catch Gautier, wouldn't be enough.
But I can't reiterate, we have had some fantastic racing here today, and it continues in the third and final race here. Just starting to look behind. He wants to know the gap. It's gone out to 3.5 seconds, so he's turned it up, or Ben Townley maybe just knocking off a little bit. Either way, Townley in second is 10 seconds clear of the Russian Evgeny Borbashev.
Barsha has closed in on Borbashev.
Yeah.
That would be 1 point. That could take it down to 2. And then if Cooper Webb can put a charge on,
he's found a way through. He's past the Russian.
So that's 1 more point. And how far is Townley away? Oh, a good 10 seconds.
But
that's going to be tough to make up.
Townley's times are dropping though. And we are going to be 14 France, USA 16 as they hit the 2-lap board in about a third of a lap's time. So great riding from Justin Barsha. Where's Webb? He's a few seconds further back, isn't he? He's not even over the tabletop in the background at the top of the hill. Or is he? He's how far back? 5, 7, 8 seconds, something like that. 9 seconds. Barsha.
He has battled, huh? He has really put on a charge, worked his way up to 3rd place already.
Fevre's time, last time around, a 55.9. Townley, a 56.0. Barsha, a 52.5. And he is 8 seconds down. 2 laps to go. He is going to be all over Townley before the finish line. And this is crunch time.
2 points.
Wow.
For America to win and steal this away from France on their home soil, what it's going to take is 2 laps from Justin Barsha. He needs to pass Townley. And Cooper Webb, who's about 5 seconds behind Gautier Paulin, that's what has to happen. If not, France is once again going to be the champions, but this time on their home soil. And this crowd will go absolutely nuts if they accomplish that here in 2 laps.
Justin Barsha has to put in 2 of the biggest laps of his career if he wants to help the USA lift the Chamberlain Trophy for the first time since 2011, the last time we were in France at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Romain Febvre can't do any more than he's doing. It's down to Townley in second, whose lap times last time around dropped by 4 seconds. Barsha is on the charge in 3rd place. The French are in the mood to party. The Americans are certainly in the mood to spoil that party. Wow, what an end to the 69th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. There is Barsha. He's going to take a look. Here's Townley. He will see him as he jumps down the hill.
Big gap. Townley has been outstanding here today. To run this close to Febvre, who's having just such a great season, shows a lot of heart out of Ben Townley, because his team at the moment is running 8th.
Still 8 seconds, the gap between Paulin and Webb, but taking the 2-lap board, the final lap, sorry. Romain Febvre is around about 1:50. Last taking lap. The second checkered flag of the day in terms of his own personal goals and winning outright the nations. He would love to wrap it up for Team France as well, but there is still everything to play for. 6 seconds the gap between Townley and Barsha. Here's Paulin, he's in 5th place, 4 seconds behind his teammate, normally in MXGP, Evgeny Borbashev, but on opposing teams today, Russia and France, Borbashev and Paulin.
And the American Cooper Webb really has not closed that gap between him and the rider with the number 1 riding for France, Gautier Paulin. Barsha has put on such an incredible charge here this moto, starting way back. But it's going to be too little, too late. We're a half a lap to go in this race.
Yeah, the gap at the start of the race, at the end of the first lap, France were on 17, the US on 24. That was a 7-point gap. They've got it down to 2. They're looking at Barsha to close in on Ben Townley. That'll bring it down to 1. And also, Paulin, he can't afford to make a slip because the guy behind him is Cooper Webb. Townley can't afford to make a slip because he will let in Barsha. Imagine that in terms of a crazy final lap, Jeff. Oh, and Ferris's bike, well, he binned it earlier on. The bike was steaming heavily. And the Australian out of 9th place on the final lap. Well, Romain Febvre really putting in a charge here.
He has been epic here this weekend. He's playing nice. He's looking around. He's trying to see where his teammate's at. He'll go through with the win. Where's his teammate?
Romain Febvre crosses the line. He wins race 3, the final race of the day. It's not all over yet, though, because Townley crosses the line. Barsha crosses the line. What are we looking at here in terms of the graphics? We still need to get Paul and Webb over the line. France are the Chamberlain Trophy winners. They win on home soil. They know it. We know it. It's all over. And there is going to be pandemonium down there. Marvin Musquin in there. What a day. The dream came true. And Team USA are victorious here on home soil. And you know what, Jeff? Last night, the MC down here, Francis Magnano, he had them singing the national anthem without music, and this will go off here. But what a day for Romain Febvre, Marvin Musquin, and Gauthier Paulin. They do the unthinkable. They go back-to-back wins, the first time since the US in 2010 and 2011. Right, here's Romain Febvre.
France are going to lift the Chamberlain Trophy for the second consecutive year and on home soil. It does not get much better than this. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. You know, to win both moto in a nation, it means something. So, you know, it's been amazing year. It will be difficult to do the same next year, but, you know, I'm so happy. Team France win again. It's good for the French motocross. Cannot be happiest now. For sure, we will enjoy and make a party for sure. So,
enjoy the party, enjoy the moment.
Taking a look at Romain Febvre here, along with his teammates Marvin Musquin and Gauthier Paulin, become the first team since 2010 to win on home soil when America did it in Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah, Ryan Dungey, Trey Kennard, and Andrew Shaw that day. And what a day that was as well.
What a year it's been for this rider, huh?
You know, you win the world title in MXGP and with 8 Grand Prix wins, and then you come here and win both races at the Motocross of Nations.
And to think that 1 year ago, he really was left without a ride. And then Michele Rinaldi gives him his shot. He takes advantage of it, helps Michele to his 13th World Championship. And now, they're Motocross of Nations champions.
Yeah, Team France, Motocross of Nations winners. Here's how the race finished then. Race 3, Romain Febvre, Ben Townley, what a race, what a comeback here 10 years on. Barsha third, Bobashev, and the rest. Great rides for Simpson, Todd Waters as well, but he was hurt in that race by the fact that Dean Ferris fell back to 14th in the end. But Febvre, Townley, Barsha, Bobashev, Paulin, your top 5. Webb, had he not made, he made a mistake, didn't he? And lost a little bit of ground.
Yeah, stalling the bike there in that final turn, that really cost him, because he had made his way past Barsha. He certainly had some momentum, built up some steam and momentum, and after that he never really found his groove.
Final classification then. France on 14, the USA on 16, Belgium on the podium once again. They were third, edging out Estonia and Switzerland, the Netherlands, Australia and New Zealand. But the France team here, back-to-back winners. Last year it was Gauthier Paulin, Dylan Ferrandis and Stephen Frossard. This year it's Gauthier Paulin, Marvin Musquin and Romain Febvre. And the team manager, Pascal Finot, he was an understudy to Olivier Robert, the outgoing team manager last year. That's him in the pork pie hat just between the two riders. He was the outgoing team manager last year. And guess what? They come home onto home soil, and his understudy, Pascal Finot, wraps it up for Team France here at Ernée. What a day.
The fans, they're not going anywhere until after they hoist that Chamberlain Trophy and they finish the podium. This is a pretty outstanding atmosphere.
We're almost getting ready to go down to the podium. Right, podium time then. And it is going to go off here. Monster Energy Girls in place. Team Belgium, third overall. this year. They were second last year, third this year. Joel Smets, team manager, on the right-hand side, but Jeremy Van Horby, Ken de Dijker, and Julian Lieber on the box here at Ernée in France. Team USA, Jeff, a great performance from them, but just ran out of time in the closing stages of that third and final moto. Cooper Webb, Justin Barsha, and Jeremy Martin.
I mean, he shouldn't hang his head low at all. Cooper Webb, being a rookie, riding the bigger bike.
But listen to the roar of the crowd here.
Here it comes.
Team France will stand on the top step of the Monster Energy F1 Motocross of Nations podium, and they will do so here on home soil at Ernée in France. What a final race.
There is some serious amount of two-stroke engine premix being burned right now. Wow. I have never seen anything like this.
Wow, Gauthier Paul and Marvin Musquin, Romain Febvre. Febvre picking up the class win in the open class.
Absolute pandemonium. There's no other way to say it.
And Pascal Fina on the left.
The only rider missing here on the podium would be Jeremy Martin, the MX2 rider for the United States.
Yes, I don't know
he
what
probably can't make his way to the podium right now.
Yeah, from the
being blocked by the fans, huh?
But Mr. Vito Ippolito, the FIM president there, handing the third place trophy to Joel Smets, Roger de Costa there, and also Jean-Michel Bale, stage left. Second place trophies go to Justin Barsha, Cooper Webb, and Jeremy Martin. Of course, Roger de Costa on there because of the team manager for Team USA. All 22 of their wins, you know, come under the guidance of Roger de Costa. Here's Jeremy Martin, finally makes it onto the podium. That's the second place trophy for Team USA. Marvin Musquin picking up the winner's trophy for MX2. Romain Febvre will win the open class outright, but listen to the roar of the crowd here, and I bet they will sing their hearts out, the French people here, Jeff.
Final bit of hardware. Going to be delivered here in a minute.
Team France.
The trophy that everyone races for. Here's the first place trophy for the event.
Jack Ball, the FFM president, handing the... that's not the Chamberlain trophy.
It's coming, though.
It is coming.
Dates back to 69 years ago, right?
Yeah. And the very first one won in 1947 at Wassenaar in the Netherlands by Team Great Britain. Romain Febvre picking up the class win. Marvin Musquin picking up the class win. That's the Monster Energy trophies there. And maybe Cooper Webb picking up the other win.
There it is.
But here's the Chamberlain trophy. Mr. Vito Ippolito, the FIM president, delivers the trophy to Team France. Romain Febvre, Gauthier Paulin, Marvin Musquin, and Pascal Fino.
This was a very competitive race today, Paul, between France and the United States, but I just had that feeling that France was on a date with destiny, and they certainly delivered.
Just wondering if you can hear that crowd coming through your headset. What a day, what a weekend. We were spoilt from all angles. The circuit was perfect, the weather was perfect, the crowd unrivaled at any other Motocross of Nations event anywhere in the world, probably other than this one here in recent times. Franciacorta was pretty big in Italy in 2009, Matchley Basin in 2006, but man, these guys know how to party. There'll be time to sing the national anthem in a minute, but the gold plates delivered by Tony Skillington. Just listen to that atmosphere, Jeff.
It really is something else, there's no doubt about it.
A great advert for motocross. The Motocross of Nations. The host nation as well, putting on a great event here, along with the FIM. National anthem. Right, listen to these guys sing this. They can't hear what's going on. Here we go. Team France win the 69th Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. They do so as the defending champions on home soil here at Ernée in France. What a great weekend, a great spectacle. The USA came home second with their riders Justin Barcia, Jeremy Martin and Cooper Webb. And on the podium again for the 8th year in a row, Team Belgium with Julian Lieber, Jeremy Van Horbeek and Ken de Dijker.
Well, Paul, it's been a pleasure. Once again, this race, there's so much strategy, calculation, energy put into this, and it's been a pleasure to be on the broadcast with you and experience this sort of atmosphere in an event like this is really something special.
It was a pleasure having you in here once again, Jeff, and I'm sure we'll look forward to doing it again in a year's time when we will be at the historic circuit of Maggiora in Italy, 30 years on from when David Bailey, Johnny O'Mara and Rick Johnson were victorious for the 6th straight time. And if Tony Cairoli is fit, and Davide Guarnieri, David Philipparts, who knows some of the younger guys that they had on their team this weekend, Andrea Cervelin, Ivo Monticelli and Samuele Bernardini, if they're fit and ready to go, it will be as equally as satisfying as this one. Well, Jeff, as we look at some of the highlights from that third race, just recap what this event meant to you and your thoughts on it real quick.
Well, one of the most impressive rides, of course, was the MXGP champion, Roman Weber. He was perfect. Fastest qualifier, won his qualifying race, won both motos. Pretty outstanding. I think Musquin's ride, he showed a lot of heart today also.
All right, well, that's it. We're out of time, folks. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next year. Bye for now.